morning, this is Francesca Evans from LymeOnline, bringing you up to date with the latest news and sport from the Lyme Regis area. The much anticipated statue of famous fossil hunter Mary Anning is set to be unveiled in Lyme Regis next year if planning consent is forthcoming. Having raised £100,000 for the statue through a successful crowdfunding campaign, the Mary Anning Rocks organisation made public complaints that delays at Dorset Council were holding up the project. After the story made headlines in the national press, the campaign group says it is now working much closer with the council and hopes to be able to unveil the statue in a newly proposed location on May 21st next year, which would have been Mary's 223rd birthday. Planning permission is being sought to site the life-size statue on the corner where Long Entry meets Guncliffe Walk, which is where she would have found many of her groundbreaking scientific discoveries. This would also reflect the only known portrait of the fossil hunter with the same backdrop of golden cap. It was previously proposed to site the statue under the Marine Theatre on Guncliffe Walk. Excitement is mounting as preparations are made for the filming of a new Willy Wonka movie in Lyme Regis. Scenes for the Warner Brothers production of Wonka will be filmed at the historic Cobb Harbour next month, with props arriving on site this week. Oscar-nominated actor Timothée Chalamet will star as the iconic inventor Willy Wonka in this new adaptation based on characters from Roald Dahl's novel Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The story will focus on a young Willy Wonka and his adventures prior to opening his famous chocolate factory in 19th century Britain, with a snow scene reportedly set to take place on the Cobb. Props to arrive this week have included a classic Bedford truck seen driving along the Cobb and the 1930s steam drifter Lydia Eva, which was brought into Lyme after being moored in West Bay for several days. Lyme Regis-based environmental charity, the Word Forest organisation, has launched a petition calling for the Prime Minister to broadcast a science-led weekly climate address to the nation. It is suggested that the address could follow a similar format to those broadcast throughout the coronavirus pandemic, led by politicians and experts to keep the public informed on what the government is doing to tackle environmental issues. It could also be used to demonstrate how the nation could cut its carbon emissions more expediently, whilst also dealing with problems the UK may face in the meantime, including extreme weather and disruption to the food supply chain. You can sign the petition for a weekly climate address by following the link shown on screen now. About 200 walkers, including many ex-servicemen and women, marched into Lyme Regis last weekend after completing a 50-mile hike along the Jurassic Coast. The event raised a staggering £100,000 for the Rifles Regimental Trust's Care for Casualties appeal, which supports veterans with injuries and PTSD. The walk started at Lulworth Cove with a drumhead service on Friday morning and finished in Lyme Regis on Sunday afternoon with a group marching along the seafront led by motorcycles and bugles. They were welcomed by dignitaries at the lifeboat station and were each presented with a medal by the Mayor and Mayoress of Lyme Regis. Lyme Regis was saddened this week to hear of the death of Only Fools and Horses actor and regular visitor John Challis. John played the legendary character Boycie in Britain's favourite sitcom and was a firm friend of Lyme Regis. In recent years, he had made several appearances at the Marine Theatre, and in July 2019 he opened Lyme Regis Lifeboat Week as a keen supporter of the RNLI. During his visit to the town, he even popped into local pub The Nag's Head, namesake of his favourite haunt in Only Fools and Horses, where he met with then landlords James and Rebecca de Boycie and posed for photographs. In local sport, Lyme Regis Football Club's first team have found their mojo, according to manager Julian Simier, who was delighted with the spirit shown in last week's 3-3 draw with Devon and Exeter Premier table toppers Lapford. The goal that put Lyme in front early in the game came from the evergreen Mark Bailey, who curled the ball into the top of the net from 30 yards out. Bailey's experience was called on by the manager after a couple of below-par performances, and he certainly delivered, playing a crucial role in the Seasiders' 2 other goals from Harvey Brimacombe and Fred Parsons to snatch a crucial point in Lyme's determination to retain the Premier title. Tomorrow, Lyme travel to Dawlish United and will be anxious to maintain their form and complete the double over the South Devon team, having beat them 2-0 at home earlier in the season. Things did not go quite so well for Lyme's 2 other sides. The reserves went down 5-1 away to Exeter side Central, whilst the Rovers only just managed to raise 11 players and took a thumping at Shepton Beecham, losing 14-1, the biggest defeat of a Lyme team for several years. The reserves will be looking for a better performance at home to Hemyock in a 3 p.m. kick-off tomorrow at the Davy Fort. Performance of the weekend came from Up Lyme first team competing in the Devon and Exeter League for the first time with a 15-0 humbling of neighbours Seaton Town reserves. No fewer than 4 players scored a hat-trick. You can tell that summer has come to an end when the Lyme Regis Crib Leagues start their winter programme. This year there are 10 teams from Lyme and the Axe Valley, who as usual will be kept in good order by Mr Crib himself, Clive Garner, who has run the league for many years. News is still eagerly awaited about whether the 2 other main pub sports, skittles and darts, will be back in action soon following the coronavirus pandemic. And finally, the Lyme Regis branch of Cancer Research UK returned to their fundraising programme today for the first time since the pandemic broke out with their popular Big Breakfast. The breakfast event will be held in the Woodmead Halls from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. today, and there is no need to book, you can just turn up for a full English or breakfast rolls. Thanks for watching LymeOnline's video news bulletins. Visit our website throughout the week to stay up to date with the latest local news. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or sign up to our free weekly newsletter so you never miss a thing. Have a great weekend.